Hey, babe. All right, man, we are live. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Give me a second. Let me let the Discord know. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk these charts. All right, cool. So we on here. All right. So Wednesday market reviews. On Wednesdays, we like to come on here, show the best setups we've taken so far. And if we haven't taken any setups, show, any potential highs that we are aiming to take, okay? So let me go ahead and get started with gold. So gold has been kind of crazy this week. So as you can see, starting on Monday, around Asian session, we had a massive drop off, okay? Almost like $400 price difference, okay? Overall, gold is still, let me go to XAU USD actually, get a fresh chart. Okay. We're still bullish on gold, okay? So let me just do a quick top-down analysis before I now get into the trade that I took, which was yesterday. Okay. So as you can see up here, this was what, the 17th, made all-time highs, and we went ahead and swept all-time highs. And this happened Monday, okay? New York session PM. So when the price now taking this out, all-time highs, it was a nice sell-off. At first, I wasn't expecting it to really sell off, but it's kind of obvious, all-time highs, sweeps it. Because as price was making all-time highs in the past, I was so nervous to sell. But as you can see, we've always had some type of nice little retracement. So look at this retracement over here. This was about $100. This one was like $60. This is like $60. So these are all very just small drops, okay? But now if we come to here all-time highs, you can see that this drop over here was massive, almost, $370, okay? So this is a big correction. A lot of people are taking profit. And right here, you can see that price fell short of 4,400. I'm not doing- let's see. Okay, price fell short of 4,400. So with price now doing this big retracement, we have a target, which is up here. So as price was dropping, I had this daily order block called out in the chat that I can see price potentially. coming back somewhere here, okay, into this last downward close candle that filled in an imbalance. That's your order block, okay? And that's a very nice retracement if we're now taking this low from this low to this high. If we're not taking that, you can see that it comes down to optimal trade entry. Give me a second. Where is my? Okay, we're still good. Okay, cool. All right. Now going down to the 4 hour, you can see that we had this last 4 hour loot zone over here. Okay. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just adding areas of confluence where I think price could potentially stop, turn around, and start buying. Okay. So this last 4 hour loot zone. Okay. And now you can see right here, this candle right here is the specific candle that I traded. I'm gonna show that in a second. But just looking at price right now, for tomorrow and for the days upcoming, we can see that price made a low, high. Then now all this right here is a higher low on the bigger time frame, okay? To keep going back up. That's my prediction. But we're gonna see. We can at least, I believe we can at least touch this wick over here and then possibly this area over here. Okay. So let me delete this fib. All right, so let's go talk about the buys that I took yesterday. Let me use the replay tool. All right, so this is New York PM session, 1300, then Asian session starts. And as you can see, when Asian session starts, it's still consolidating, okay? There's nothing that's telling you to buy this right now. Price then has a massive drop. I believe I was watching this when price dropped, okay? So as price was dropping, price was moving fast. I'm talking about like fast. Like a 1 minute candle. 1 minute candles are doing like $30, $20. And like last year, or like just a few months ago, the regular price movement for gold per day is maybe $30 to $50, okay, per day, okay. But as you can see right here, price is doing $30 in a minute, okay. So gold is very volatile right now. Like if you gotta be quick. You gotta have your head on a swivel, okay, especially if you're trying to look for entries. Like your bias could be right, but if you don't get that precise entry, you can get fried and price will go in your direction. Okay. So as price was dropping, okay, um, I wanted to buy in this area, but I was like, if I buy right now, where exactly am I gonna put my stop loss? Okay. So when price started buying, I'm like, even if I was to enter here, okay, price closed bullish. I'm risking about like $33. That is way outside my risk tolerance, okay? For me, usually I like to risk no more than $10, 15 pushing it, but $33 is okay. So for me, I was waiting for some type of structure, okay? Looking to the left, so I was waiting for some type of structure, okay? I'm gonna show you guys how I got my entry precisely. So I was on the 5 minute and I was now waiting for the 5 minute candle to now close in our direction. I wanted some type of bullishness to come in. So we can see how, look at this candle, this doji. Look at how it went all the way down here, but look at where it closed. It failed to close beneath this candle's low. Okay. And now once price closes bullish, that now gave me confirmation that okay, it's time to start looking for buys. Okay. So with this entry over here, I was actually on the phone with my cousin. He took an impulse buy down here, just based on the fact that it was dropping. But with that, what I like to do, no matter, the setup, I always like to stick with my model and wait for my model to be presented, okay? So for me, I like to play safe. I like to wait for confirmations instead of just getting in and, saying you don't know really know where you're going to put your stop loss unless you have a predefined risk that you're like, for example, you could enter somewhere down here and say, hey, I'm for this trade, I'm willing to risk $300 and put your stop loss, to wherever that equates, okay? So once this 5 minute closed bullish, I was now being patient, okay? Is it on the 1 minute? Let me see. I think it was a 5 minute. Oh, this is XAU USD. So hold on. Let me actually go to MGC because that's where I actually took the trade. Okay, perfect. Let me delete this really quick. Okay. So I trade MGC, I trade the future. So let me come on here and show you guys what I was looking at. Okay. So here is still nothing to doing. Okay. Price closed bullish, which is good. Look at this candle showing bullishness, and then boom, we have this big bullish engulfing. Okay. So now once this 5 minute candle closed, we now formed a 5 minute loot zone. Okay. We formed a 5 minute loot zone. And these are the entries I usually have to take, whether it's the on whatever setup it is. One, I always wait for a flashbang, which is a turtle soup. After a flashbang has happened, I want to see, some type of bullish strength, bullish engulfing, that overtakes a bearish candle. And from there, we can now get, an order block or C4, as we like to call it in the Texas Heist. Okay. We now push up, okay, and now we've now created our first loot zone. Okay. So I want you guys to go practice this. Go, yes, Glenn, back loot zones are fair value gaps. Okay. So with that, go practice this yourself on a higher time frame, wait for price to take liquidity, okay? Cause a flashbang. Once the flashbang has been done, wait for price to start closing in your direction, okay? After that, wait for a loot zone, okay? Wait for a loot zone to present itself, and then monitor that loot zone. You should go to lower time frame. So if this was a 1 hour loot zone, I'll be once price forms this 1 hour loot zone, I will not be on the lower time frames on maybe like the 15 minute or the 5 minute monitoring price to see price start closing bullishness and within this loot zone to confirm, that this loot zone is going to support price higher. Okay. So once this 5 minute loot zone was formed, all I did was I put a buy limit right here at the middle of the loot zone. On this loot zone, and then my first stop loss was down here. Let me see. Let me go to the 1 minute. Yep. So my stop loss was down here. Okay, so risking about $22, which is kind of outside my risk tolerance, but I was trying to just trust the setup. Okay, and over here we have liquidity over here. Okay, so this is all this built up liquidity. So resistance, retail is getting in, selling it. Resistance, they're selling. So they're jamming their stop loss. So there are a lot of orders sitting up here. Okay. So this was my TP1. But obviously, I was aiming for the moon, but price don't work like that, you know what I'm saying? So don't, get too greedy. Always try to go for that easy vault, before trying to go underground, trying to do all that, trying to break into the big vaults. Go for the easy vaults, okay? So with this, I am now gonna put this into two screens. Oh, this one's not replayed. All right, that's fine. I will go to the 1 minute and we'll just watch this slowly on the 1 minute. Uh, so I had my buy limit set here in the first loot zone. You can see how this candle boom, all buyers, no sellers. Okay. So I wasn't doing anything. So now we've just formed a low. Okay. We've just formed internal liquidity. Okay. Boom. So with this candle right here, that put me in the trade automatically. And when I say like this trade was it was quick, the price reaction was quick. Okay. So from there you can see this, boom, it comes down, goes up again, comes down, forms that higher low. Okay. So like I said, if you guys were in the paying attention to Discord, I said that every turtle soup, every flashbang has a failure swing. Okay. What does that mean? We have this low right here. Okay. Once price sweeps that, okay, starts closing bullish, we now form a swing low. Okay. And then price usually likes to come, and this is just market structure. So with price forming this low, price is now going to go up, form a lower high. And now as price is coming down, this is the a big determination spot. Is price going to break this low and form a lower low? Or is price going to respect this low and form a higher low? Okay. I want you guys to go back test this. Okay. So I'm on a 30-second chart. I pay for Trading View Premium so I can get the seconds chart. But I was watching this on the seconds chart. Okay. So look at this. Liquidity taken, bearish candle. Boom. We close bullish, bullish engulfing. Okay. This now creates a C4. Okay. An order block. This last downward close candle, that's your C4. Price comes into it, respects this low, higher low, starts going up. Okay. So with that, that put me in the trade. And when I say like price was moving fast, like look at this. In 1 minute, price at $8, price started doing 11. And we started picking up. So automatically I was up like $40 in one, two, three, four, five. In 5 minutes, I'm there up like $40. When in the past, price, gold usually does $50 in a day. So price is moving fast. Okay. So that it was a smooth trade. Luckily, man, luckily. Let me move this. And we can see right here, price forming another loot zone on the 5 minute. That right there was a second entry. Okay. If we had missed this one, so never have FOMO. Okay. If you miss a certain trade, just track institutional order flows. Our fair value gaps being respected. Okay. Our order blocks being respected. Okay. That's how you know that price is still moving that direction. So just lock in and try and get that second entry. So right here, this gave another second entry. And so yeah, like I was saying, luckily, I woke up just at the right time. Like I woke up at like 2:30 a.m., like out the blue, because I knew that. So in the past, I've gotten into gold trades before, and I would like take it during Asian session, and then I would be up, and then I'll go to sleep. I wouldn't set no TP. Sometimes I would even set break even. So I'll go to sleep. Then London session at like 3, 4 a.m. Price just reverses on me, like, and I wake up to either break even or I wake up to either a loss. And I used to get frustrated. So like maybe you guys can adopt this. One thing I do is I start setting TPs. Like if I'm asleep and I'm not gonna be up trading in London, I just set my TP. You don't even try and get greedy. Just like I said, put your TP at a nice easy vault. Okay. So even this liquidity high right here, this could have also been a vault as well. Okay. Let me check the chaps. Glenn, you don't look to enter at the candle to close over that negative fair value gap to enter. The negative fair value gap. Hey, Glenn, I'll keep that question when I meet with you. We'll discuss more later on that. Okay. But from here, so like I said, I woke up around like 2:30 a.m. luckily, and I woke up just at the right time before price started to drop. So right here, I literally TP'd right here at this candle. So you can see I woke up at like 2:30. So price was like over here. And then I saw this candle and I was like, low key, I'm up like $75. Okay. I was up some good chicken. Good chicken. Okay. So I was like, let me just go ahead and TP because now on the hour, you can see that this hour right here at two, it was already, pushing bearish on this 15 minute. So this kind of the same thing. So we had this high, right? We took liquidity. We closed above it, but did we, but now once we closed above it, what happened next? We just fell back into the range, okay? So this over here is also a turtle soup or a fake out. Price closes above, trapping the breakout traders, but then price slowly reverses. Okay. And then from there, loot zone. So same thing. The same way I took this entry down here is the same thing up here. Liquidity, loot zone, could have taken sells, and then the sells played out. But that was my trade on gold. Very clean. Price dropped, and then yeah. So clean trade. I did try to take sells again later on. I think somewhere over go to the 5 minute. Yeah, I tried to take sells over here. Okay. I thought we had this equal lows. I thought price would come and snatch that, but in reality, this low is protected, and all we did over here was just sweep this low and leaving this low in place to now start going higher. And now you can see that this loot zone got respected and started going higher. Okay. So I will be looking for buys. I said that in the Discord. I'll be looking for buys later. Okay. All right, so with that, that was gold. What else did I take? I think I'm gonna go show you guys US 30 really quickly because the same way that gold kind of had this crash, US 30 showed the same thing. Okay. Back snatcher. Let me see. Yeah, so I don't got back snatcher on here or liquid extractions to give their breakdown. So let me mark up US 30 real quick and then I'm gonna get out of here, okay? So MYM US 30 on the futures on the future side. Okay. So check this out. Okay. So this is all-time highs on US 30. Okay. This is the daily chart. This is all-time highs. You see that we came down here, we made a higher low, we hit a weekly order block, and we pushed all the way up to take all-time highs. Now, once we took all-time highs, kind of the same thing that happened on gold. We slowly started trickling all the way down. Okay. If I was to go to the 15 minute. So US 30 was a clean trade. Obviously, I didn't trade this because I was I was too locked in on gold. I've been locked in on gold for ever since it started moving crazy. But with this over here, so this loot zone right here is what started giving me the bearish indication. Okay, oops, the bearish indication. Okay, so we now formed this, made this an inverse, closed beneath it, came back, dropped. Okay. With that, we now formed another loot zone, okay? Another loot zone, and we just started dropping slowly, okay, trickling down. And then you see that once New York session started to come, this is London session right now. So this loot zone was a very great place to take sells. And then from there, so let's keep going. This is still London, a little faster. Oh, my phone is bugging out. Chill. Okay, there we go. So with this drop was like very, predicted yesterday. So you can see same thing here. All we're doing right here is we're taking highs and we're dropping lower. Drop, loot zone. So this is how I track institutional order flow. Loot zone being respected, drops, comes back another loot zone, and then drops again. This now does what? This now leaves equal lows. Okay. So retail is thinking this is support. Okay. So they're buying here. All price does is go here, take liquidity again, drops. Okay. We now take this liquidity point, and now we have the support. Price, all price does. We now have this other loot zone right here, this big loot zone. But in reality, this right here is a breaker, an ICT breaker. The last low, structural low, to push price to go take liquidity. Once we close below that, you can use this as resistance. So something like this. And this is also combined with a fair value gap. So with that, this would have been the best entry. Something like this, and then from there, I've been eyeing these low, man. I mean, maybe you can be locked into two markets at once, but I've been eyeing these lows. Okay. I've been eyeing these lows. So from there, price had definitely, was very smooth on US 30 today. Like smooth price action. Smooth, smooth. And then from there, even went ahead and dropped off some more. Uh, so yeah. So that was the trade on US 30 for today. Um, all-time highs. We made an inverse. We started dropping, started taking liquidity, dropping, take liquidity, drop. So go ahead and go back test this, okay? Takes liquidity, drops, loot zone, liquidity, loot zone, liquidity, loot zone, and then it reaches target. Okay. All right, so cool, man. That's all I got for y'all today. Hope this was insightful. We will be having a boot camp very soon. Okay, so staying tuned for that. We're gonna drop it on the IG. It's gonna be free. Gonna drop lots of game. We're also gonna drop some game that we have in the advanced course early. Okay, and then yeah, catch me at the Texas Heist. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow, man. Peace out.